All right, let's start the second half of the meeting with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. All right, it is my pleasure to introduce Rob. Come on up and share your experience, strength, and hope with us. Give him a round of applause.
How you fellas doing? My name is Rob, and I'm an addict. I'm not a podium person. Some of you guys look familiar. There's a lot of cats that'll come up here on the podium and they do all this and they get all into the habits. I'll keep it 100 with you guys, man. I'll tell you how I got clean, why I got clean, and I'll tell you where I'm at today. First of all, I never thought I was gonna get clean. I was homeless, sleeping in my truck, stealing chickens, and I steal chickens, man. I'm not like one of those dope fiends that be out there gangbanging and robbing and I'm a jack this mother. Nah, man, I steal chickens, man. You know what I mean? I wash up in the bathroom at the gas station, a bar of soap. I jump into a fountain at the hospital, take a quick little bird bath. That's me. You know what I mean? But I was homeless, sleeping in my truck, man, and I remember like looking at myself in the mirror, talking to myself, and I told myself, like, this is your life, this is it, this is as good as gonna get, it ain't never gonna get any better, it is what it is, and I was like, fuck it, you know what I mean? And that was it, you know what I mean? And so, like, I never thought I was gonna get clean, and still to this day, like, I'm amazed when I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I'm clean, like, fuck, I'm living life, like, fuck, this is what I'm doing today. You know what I mean? It's still like, still hasn't fully sank in yet, you know what I mean? I got 15 years clean. Took a lifetime to get 15 years clean. It wasn't easy, but I thank God for that gift of desperation, man, because if it wasn't for that desperation, I'd probably be dead. I'm grateful for that, you know what I mean? And when I say desperation meaning I was tired, I was broken, I was hungry, I was cold, I didn't have any more runs in me. I was at the end of it, and I was just like, fuck, what are you gonna do? Like, fuck, it wasn't working for me when I was desperate, you know what I mean? So let me give you a little bit of history. Like, I was born to addict parents. My mom was a heroin addict. My dad was a heroin addict, and I was born in custody. My mom went into labor with me when she was a civil brand, and I was born LA County General Hospital, 1972. First day or two of my life, I was in the jail ward at LA County GH. True story. Born in custody. And I'm a product of a chaotic environment, abandonment, child abuse, the whole 9 yards. That's me. My dad and my mom were married. I don't know if they were married. I didn't really know my dad. He abandoned me. My dad was there one day, and like at 4 years old, he was gone. I remember him being there like on a Monday, and he was gone on a Tuesday. And from that day that he was gone, I may have seen him 10 or 12, 15 times before he died. I was never really close with him. What happened was he did a term. He got caught, he went to prison, and then when he went to prison, that was it. Like, he was pretty much out of my life. And so we moved to Watts, California, and I'm from Watts. So I'm actually from Redondo, from the harbor area. This is my area, but I grew up in Watts. My mother married a black man, and motherfucker, you still here? Shit, damn. Hey, Cassie, what's up, man? And been here for a minute, man. My mom married a black man, and it was all bad, man. It was all bad, and for some reason, as a child, I always knew my life was gonna go from bad to worse. It was always in my head that things in my life were never gonna get any better. Like, I just, like, we grew up dirt ass fucking poor. Grew up in Watts. only Mexican kid in Watts with a fucking afro, and you know, and I had a lot of guilt and a lot of shame from a like a early age, man. Like my mom was a prostitute, and you know, my stepdad was like violent, man. Like he was, man, that motherfucker, because he was out of Vietnam back in the 70s, right? And my stepdad was this big black dude, right? Like, man, black as fuck, right? He was dark. You know, I love black people, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? My sisters are black, you know what I mean? But my stepdad, and like he had this thing about him, like he was real violent. Like my stepdad, like he never yelled, he never said, "I'm gonna fuck you up, motherfucker, look here," you know what? My stepdad was never like that. My stepdad, he had this look about him. He would just look at you like, "Come here, man. Come here. Let me talk to you. But come here. Let me tell you something, man. Look here, man." And that's how he was. I never heard that man raise his voice ever. But he went from calm to violence real fucking quick, man. And me and my sisters, we used to see him beating fools down like it was like on a regular. It was something we see like on a daily basis almost. He used to collect book. I don't know if you guys know what book is. He used to work at a bookie joint. Like if you place a bet, he was that big black guy in the corner and say, "Hey man, like don't make me come looking for you." And that was his thing, like don't make me come looking for you. And then when he would find you, he'd be like, "See what you made me do? See what you made me do?" Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And he was so big, like motherfuckers was scared. Like as soon as he walked in the room, you knew somebody was gonna get fucked up. You know what I mean? So that was my stepdad. You know what I mean? And he was a heroin addict too. And you know, they used to do what they do. You know, and I just remember like we grew up dirt ass fucking poor, man. And you know, my mom used to turn tricks, and I used to watch her turn tricks, and I used to have to defend her honor, man. Like I just remember like growing up in an all black neighborhood, and like you know, they would be like, "Oh, my uncle fucked your mama for $5." I'm like, you know what I mean? What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Bam, you know. And so I was always getting into fights. That's how I grew up, man. And I always knew like for some reason my life was never gonna get any better. I just had that. At a young age, I always knew that. Foster homes in McLaren Hall, running away, foster homes, and grew up, and my mom separated from her husband, and we were on 108th and Avalon in 1982. And my mom said, "I'll be back." She left, and she never came back. And so I didn't really have much of a relationship with her. You know, back in the foster homes, and did some stupid shit back in '87. Got 18 months, went to YA, didn't do 18 months, did 3 years, 11 months. They maxed me out up in there squabbling fools, and you know what I mean. And it was all bad, man. It was all bad. And got out in '92, and I started doing meth. I don't know how old some of you guys look pretty old, but I started meth back in the day. It was called pink champagne. I don't know if any of you guys know what pink champagne was. That was the best dope on the planet. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I've done it all. I've done glass, lemon drop, peanut butter. That was the best dope by, you know what I mean? And I remember like doing that first line, and I just remember like, fuck, like this is it, you know what I mean? I've been looking for you my whole entire life, you know what I mean? And I jumped into that with the compulsion, like man, like the burn was addicting right there, you know what I mean? And I remember like, I gotta do a line for the other nostril, man. Like I'm an abandoned child, I gotta be fair to the other one. Don't do one in one nostril and leave the other one out, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that's how I jumped into it, man. And it was all bad. And you know, the funny thing about it is I never thought I was a drug addict, though. You know, all the years I was using, I never thought I was a drug addict, because I was nothing like my mother. I was nothing like my father. I was nothing like my stepfather. I was nothing like my uncles. And my uncles still to this day are doing the same old fucking shit, you know what I mean? And they're in and out, back in, caught a term, he's back out, he's here for 90 days, back in. Nothing like that, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, that's it. You know, been doing that fucking meth since '92. Started smoking meth on tinfoil. That's why I can't see. I can't see that good anymore. My eyes are bad, and I think it was the tinfoil did me dirty. The tinfoil did me dirty. The meth wasn't that bad. It was the fucking tinfoil. I used to fucking just, man, like I had people, why you got tinfoil in your car? My burrito, man. I wrapped my burrito. It was, and I think that's why I got the health issues that I have today, which not as healthy as I used to be. Got a few issues, nothing major. Yeah, man, like I used for a lot of years, man, and it wasn't until 2001 I made it to my first meeting of Narcotics Anonymous, and you know what, like, it was really hard for me to relate to people because I just didn't have an open mind. My mind was closed. I didn't think I was a drug addict. Like, you know, through all the years I was using, I always had a job, I always had a car, I always had a house, and everything was like, in my opinion, when I'm using, I thought everything wasn't chaotic, everything was cool, everything was manageable. But, you know, that's what I thought. But that's the disease thinking. My disease had me, you know, sold me a lie and I bought it. And made it to my first meeting in 2001. Couldn't get fucking 10 days clean. You know, I came into the meeting and never took a suggestion, never worked a step, never took it seriously, never listened. Got high with everybody in my home group. And I thought that, like, because I went to a meeting and I would say, my name is Rob, and everybody would be like, Rob, and I'm like, yeah, I rhyme, you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing the damn thing, you know what I mean? Never took it seriously, never read it in between the lines, never tried to relate. And been around for a couple years, and couldn't get 10 days clean, man. And finally, I did get a sponsor, and my sponsor, you know, he was a good dude. He had like 27 years clean. He died in '05 of Hep C complications. They didn't have that pill back then. And he stayed with me till the end. But I remember one time I went to a meeting, and you know, my sponsor one time he looked at me and he goes, what the fuck are you doing here, bro? Like, what are you doing here? Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Go get done. You ain't fucking done. Like, go fucking get done. Get out of here. Like, he told me that. I was like, what the fuck? Like, okay, you know, and that's what I did, man. I went and got done, man. And the getting done process entailed for me ended up being homeless, sleeping in my truck, stealing chickens, and washing up at the bathroom at the gas station. That was the getting done process for me. In 2005, I got high. We were smoking dope. I was up for a couple days. I hear people come in here and they say, I was up for 21 days. I don't even know if that's possible. I don't know if that's possible because I would be up for 2 days and I'd be sleeping on the toilet for like 3 fucking hours. And then I'd get up and I was good to go. But I went on some sick runs, man, but I never fucking stayed up for 21 days straight. I don't even know if that's possible, but whatever. I'm not gonna debate that, but to each its own, you know what I mean? Anyways, I was up for a couple of days. I'll start seeing lights and shit, and like, what the fuck? So, you know, I called 911. I said that the aliens are in the attic and they're coming for the guns in the safe downstairs, right? And then I said, oh, never mind, and I hung up, right? But they didn't never mind. They came, and they came, and you know, they brought me out in handcuffs, and it was a 3-day weekend, so I ended up talking with the detective on Monday. He played the tape back for me, and he goes, "This is you," and I go, "That ain't me." He goes, "That's you." No, that ain't me. That didn't sound like me, but it was me, and got Prop 36 in 2005. And I remember going to the Prop 36 court telling Judge Vicencia, his name was Judge Vicencia, and I said, I think you guys are doing a really good thing with trying to help these drug addicts out. Like, they really need help. Like, I'm not a drug addict. Like, I pay my bills. I pay my child support. I abide by the law. I said, all I want to do is get high. It ain't got nothing to do with you. What do you care for? You know what I mean? And he was like, well, thank you for being honest, but you're still breaking the law. I was like, oh, okay. He goes, I'm going to send you to Prop 36. I'm like, okay, what is that? All right, whatever, y'all do it. And I went to Prop 36 and got kicked out of every class. And they sent me here to Fred Brown. Well, they sent me here to Fred Brown. I don't know if it was Fred Brown or Ocean Brown. I remember coming to a couple different places here in San Pedro, and I did the tour. Like, okay, you know, I was in Prop 36. The probation officer said, you're going to residential. You're going to go to residential. And I'm like, all right, sure. And I went and checked these ones out, and one of the houses had bunk beds, and I was like, fuck that. I'm not sleeping in no fucking bunk bed. I think it was Ocean View. I don't know. It was a while back, but I never did, you know, and I didn't do the Prop 36 program. You know, it just, for me, I don't think rehabilitation was going to work for me. I think I was too much compulsively obsessed with getting loaded that a program wasn't going to work for me, you know. And I've been around for some years, and it you know, what did it for me is I had to go out there and be homeless. I had to go out there and sleep in the truck, and you know, I used to panhandle for $1 to get tacos at Jack in the Box. I used to panhandle at the Jack in the Box on Valley and Fremont, and I would go up to like, hey, you got $1, man? I'm a little down on my luck, sir. Yeah, I'm just trying to get a you know, chicken sandwich. You know what I mean? And that was my hustle. You know what I mean? And I would steal chickens. I would go to the store, and I tell people I steal chickens. I steal chickens. And no, I steal chickens, bro. I would go to the store, and I would go in the deli and grab the chicken with the little carrying case. I'd go to the bakery, grab me some rolls, maybe a soda, and I would walk out the store. That's why I stole chickens. One time, it was raining. It was fucking raining one time, right? I've always been a big dude. Like, I've always had a little size, you know what I mean? I'm just a little bigger around the midsection now. That's age, you know what I mean? I'm married. But I've always been a big dude, right? And I remember one time we were broke down in the alley in like Culver City, right? And there was a pavilions. And I remember going to the pavilion, it was raining. I didn't have a jacket on or anything. I just had just a regular t-shirt, right? I go into the store, grab my chicken, grab my biscuits, and I start walking for the door, right? And there's these 3 little box dudes. They had their little vest on. They're mopping up the water. The people, they saw me walk in the store. They saw me walk and grab the chicken, grab the biscuits, and they're looking at me. And there's 3 of them by the door, and I'm like, I got my chicken, I got my biscuit. I'm walking for the door, like, where you want? As I'm walking towards the door, they're like backing up, and I'm like, we're gonna do this for the chicken, Holmes. And I remember the kid, and they probably would have whooped my motherfucking ass, dude. I'm telling you. And I remember them. The dude stepped aside. He's like, "Take it easy, bro." I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Went back and, man, and still to this day, that's the best damn chicken I've ever had, bro. Shit. Yeah. So. Still chickens. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm not a gangbanger. I'm not gonna stab nobody. I'm not gonna rob you, or I'm gonna do any of that shit. You know, I'm gonna just go steal some chickens. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's. Yeah. I told you, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. I ain't gonna bullshit you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you know, and it was Christmas of December of 2005. And I remember I was being broke. I was broke down right off of Valley and Fremont. And I remember like seeing the people, it was Christmas time, and I remember like all the people were coming, they were pulling up to the neighborhood. They had like, you know, like carrying food that was wrapped up in tin foil, and the kids had presents, and they were all happy, and they were like, and I remember like thinking to myself, like, fuck, like I really miss my family, and I remember crying to myself. I cried so fucking hard, my jaw was hurting, and I remember like fucking just crying, like I remember I was broken. That was the first hint of, and I remember telling myself, like, you got a fucking problem, dude. And the mirror's right here, and I'm talking to myself in the mirror. You got a fucking problem. No, I don't. Dude, you got a fucking problem. Dude, I don't got a problem. I got this, right? I still didn't think I was a fucking drug addict. I still didn't think I had a fucking problem. I'm homeless, sleeping in a truck with no gas, no tags. And I still don't think I got a fucking problem. You know what I mean? And I cried so fucking hard, and I went to Jack in the Box and I panhandled. I got a chicken sandwich and some tacos, and I'm good. Like, cool, you know what I mean? And I stopped using, I stopped using. When I started using, I used to go to the dope man, which was my cousin. I'd get a nickel. Hey, primo, give me a nickel. He'd give me a nickel, right? And then it went from a nickel to a dime, and then to a dime to a 20, and then from a 20 to a half a teener. Then it was a 16th on the weekends, and it was 16th all week. And the tail end of my using in 2005, I was slamming about a 16th every day and a half. That was probably the tail end of my using. I'm really grateful to God, and this is God doing something for me that I wasn't able to do for myself in 2005. The dope was terrible in 2005. It was boo-boo. That shit was whack as fuck. Every time I got high in 05, I just remember I had a headache. Like, it was terrible dope. Like, I don't know what the deal was, but it was boo-boo, right? And so I kind of tapered off of it, and I started smoking weed, and I started drinking. I've never been a weed smoker, never been a heavy drinker. I like tequila and Jägermeister, maybe a Corona every now and then, but every time I got high after like Christmas of 2005, I'd go like a week or two without getting loaded, then I'd go get a 20. Okay, I don't know about you, but a $20 bag of dope ain't gonna do shit for me. It's gonna irritate me. I would end up with a fucking headache, and I just remember sitting in the truck like, fuck this shit again? Fuck this fucking shit again. I always end up with a fucking headache. And that went on for a while. Went on for a couple years, and then I was tired, man. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't have any more runs in me. I didn't have any fight. And my sister was like, go to a sober living house. And I'm, okay, there's one in San Pedro on 20th Street. This is the address. And I went to sober living, man. And what did it for me was, I was broken. It was that desperation that brought me up into here, man. Like, I just, I didn't want to do it anymore. I don't know if you guys ever been broken to the point where you're just like, I'm fucking done with this, you know what I mean? And I remember I was in a sober living house. There was two beds in the room, and the mattress that I had was a box spring and a mattress. Didn't have a frame, it was just a box spring and a mattress. And I used to fucking sit on the floor, hug the pillow, and I would cry myself to sleep at night. And I remember calling out, asking God to give me some strength, like give me something. Just, I don't want this anymore. And every time I cried, man, I felt better. Like the next day, I always felt better. Like I just, I felt better. And at that point in time, in 07, it was 07 or 08, the seed had been planted long ago, and I remember this guy saying, go to 90 meetings in 90 days. And back then there was a lot of meetings in San Pedro. There probably still is. We live in Long Beach now. We don't, I just moved from San Pedro in 2018. But there was a lot of meetings, and I did 140 meetings in 90 days. And it was the desperation that pushed me in that direction, because what I was hearing, what I was seeing in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous at that time, it reaffirmed to me that I just didn't want what I had, that I was willing to do something different to get to a better place. I was in a bad place. And my journey of recovery began, man. And for a couple years, I took dirty cakes around here. I lied about, I wasn't doing meth, but, smoking a little weed every now and then, or drinking a beer every now and then. And I did that for a while. And every time I went to a meeting, I would hear, the only thing that will defeat us in our recovery is an attitude of indifference or intolerance towards spiritual principles. I would hear that, and it would make my stomach turn, man. Like, the longer I stayed around here, the more I did this thing, the more meetings I went to, the more I heard that reading, the more it made my stomach turn, and the more it made me feel uncomfortable. And so I got clean in 2010, and I've been clean ever since. And 15 years, man. I was homeless, sleeping in my truck, stealing chickens, right? Me and my wife were looking to buy a house right now. We're in the house buying process right now. We're gonna leave here and we're gonna go look at a house in Carson. And that's where I'm at today. And I owe it to the program of Narcotics Anonymous, man, and the desperation. The desperation is what brought me back, but that's not what keeps me here. What keeps me here is the surrender and the willingness. I gotta be willing to put my hand up and talk about it. You know, I wanna talk about it and be honest about what I'm going through today. 15 years clean. I got a pretty decent job, man. I'm a truck driver. My day starts at 4 a.m. I do what's called dropping hooks. We take a loaded trailer, we drop it off, we take an empty one back, and repeat the process again. And I enjoy it, man. I enjoy doing what I do. But you know what? The struggle for me nowadays is not letting the old way come in and affect the new way. Because there's times when I get frustrated to the point where I want to bust a motherfucker upside the head. You know what I mean? And that's the struggle for me. You know, the struggle for me is dealing with the fear. Like right now, 15 years clean, I got a lot of fear going on. Like we got a decent place in Long Beach. We got a decent place, but we're trying to buy a house, and like that's unknown. Like I'm in the unknown right now, and I'm like, why don't we just not buy the house and just stay where we're at? It would be comfortable to stay where we're at, but you know, it's time to move to the next level in life. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I got a lot of fear going on. I got some anxiety going on because this is all new to me. About looking for a house, that's new to me. You know what I mean? That's like fuck. You know what I mean? And you know, so I got to be willing to talk about that. You know what I mean? 15 years clean. Everything isn't fucking peachy. Everything isn't just perfect. You know what I mean? We go through it. Me and my wife went through a rough patch about earlier this year because one of our daughters, she's one of us. You know, she's one of us, you know, and she was using, and then my daughter moved in, with the grandkids, and so I told my wife, I said, hey, you know, when Aaliyah and the kids move out, you know, we have to figure out what we're gonna do with Mila, which is my stepdaughter, my wife's daughter. And me and my wife went through it. It's like, I'm not kicking my daughter out. Like, I need a break. I'm tired. I can't do this anymore, you know? And I prayed on it, and God intervened. And one day, about 2 months ago, my stepdaughter came home and said, I found a place. I think I want to give it a shot. I think it would be great for me. And she moved out, and she's doing good. And she likes it. And she comes home 1 or 2 nights a week, and we're cool with that. And then my daughter moved out with the grandkids, and I've had my grandkids for the whole year, right? They're at my house. They're full of energy. They're all over the place. You know, I really miss them. You know, I'm struggling with that, man. I really, really miss them. You know, she moved back with her husband, and it's not going so good. But you know, she's got to figure it out. I got to let her stand on her own 2 feet. She's got to figure this out on her own. You know. I'll always be here to help her, but yeah, I'm struggling with that, man. You know what I mean? These are the things like my man was talking about, how he misses his family. Like I feel you, bro. I miss my grandchildren, man. I really miss them a lot, you know. But you know what, man? It gets better, you know. It just doesn't happen overnight, and we're addicts. We want this shit right now. Like I want it right now, today. Like. I don't want to go through this house buying process. I just want to pick a house, make it happen, let's be done with it in a week, right? It doesn't work that way, you know what I mean? I got to walk through it, I got to do the footwork. But it gets better, it just doesn't happen overnight, man. And recovery is possible, you know. Be a part of this recovery process. Go to meetings, go to 90 meetings in 90 days. Get a sponsor. You know, one of the most profound things I've learned in recovery is talking about it or sharing about it, it takes the negativity out of it. Honest sharing frees you to recover. Put your hand up and talk about it. It gets better, it just doesn't happen overnight. Be a part of this thing of recovery. Be a part of it until this recovery thing becomes a part of you and you learn to live it. I practice these principles in all my affairs, man, and end result is like today I don't have a lot of negative shit hanging over my head. There's no dark clouds hanging over my horizon. I don't have to fix this or pay for that or clean this up or make good on this. I don't, you know what I mean? I practice these principles, and I do fall short. I'm a human being. You know, we have human moments. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know if I said anything that's going to help any of you fellows stay clean today, but I do want to promise you one thing: it gets better. It just doesn't happen overnight. So God bless you all. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.